a personality shaped by being an athlete and a background in mainstream sports media, I found that the stories I was most interested in telling were the ones often overlooked, the ones that might not otherwise be told, the ones that show the intangible and not just the highlight reel. The Sports Council is about highlighting the great, the good, the unique, and everything in between in the Pacific Northwest sports world. I'm Jamie Council. Thanks for joining me.
You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, the Tri-Cities leader in sports.
Welcome to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. I'm Jamie Council. Happy 2026, and we're starting off the new year talking a little bit of Eastern Washington women's basketball, and we're joined by Joddie Gleason, head coach. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me. I can't believe it's 2026 when you said that. It just sounds weird to me already.
I know. And it was about a year ago that we were last catching up, talking about the program, and you guys just finished up preseason, going to start conference play on Saturday. How's it been going this year, a new Eagles program?
It's been going great. We, like a lot of people, are hit with the injury bug. You know, we have, I think, 5 or 6 people that are out. Our preseason has gone well. We're currently 7-6, and you know, you want to get greedy and try to get a couple more, but our schedule is just really tough, and so we're happy with those results. I think that we played a bunch of different types of teams that will really help us get ready for the Big Sky. We played really high caliber quality games, and so, you know, we've been battle tested, and so we're excited. We're ready to go. I can't believe it's already time for conference, but we're ready.
Yeah, it's something where you want to have challenges in the preseason, but then you also want to be able to build. So I would say that you definitely had that, where, you know, being 7-6, you always wish you had a couple more, but you want to be battle tested. And for this team, a very good mix, and we'll talk more about individual players later in the show, but what identity have you found for this team?
Yeah, we have a wide range of types of players, I guess. We have, you know, a handful that have been here 3 or 4 years, have you know, are invested in the program, really understand what we're all about, and they're just great leaders, and just helping build the culture. That's always number one with us. And I think our identity is our amazing culture. Our players just love each other. They play for each other. You'll see them celebrating on the sidelines. They love it when their teammates do well. And they're very selfless. And so that rubs off in the style of play. I think we make the extra pass. We want to try to set our teammates up for great looks, and you know, they play really hard. And so it's just a really fun group to coach and be a part of. So, you know, we're excited with our team. At
this point of the season, what are you guys working on most?
Probably being more consistent offensively with shooting percentages. I think our percentages are down. They're not where we want them to be. And we have some really good shooters. So it's kind of surprising at this point in the year, but I think a lot of it has to do with just recognizing, you know, what's a great shot versus what's a good shot versus, yeah, that's probably not the best shot that we can get in this possession. So just trying to figure that out. And with a lot of new players and young players, sometimes it's tough to do that. So I think it just takes time. It takes going through the experiences, you know, playing the games and recognizing maybe against this competition, we have to be a little more patient if they're really D'ing us up pretty hard. So we, you know, I think that's probably the biggest thing that we're working on right now, is just making sure that our shot selection is where we want it, and, you know, getting good looks.
For you and your husband, Skip, head coach, associate head coach, entering now 5th season for Eastern Washington. What have you guys learned most about yourselves as you settled in and made some changes from a coaching perspective?
Good question. We're just always trying to evolve and get better. I'm always trying to, figure out new wrinkles or new twists to what we're doing. We try not to get stagnant in what we do. And, I think trying to figure out the like what we just talked about, the new normal of, who should we recruit? What players are we going to bring in? I think now we're in year 5 here at Eastern, and we know the type of players that we need to win here and the type of players that we like to coach. And so, I think that those are the some of the keys in recruiting and we have a really good group coming in next year of freshmen and then we'll try to mix in a couple transfers probably, later on. So it's just kind of figuring out that balance and, recognizing that and then just retaining your players. We think we have a nice product and we treat our players right. And they have a nice, they, like I said, they just love each other and we play the right way. And so hopefully we can retain our players too. And that's probably another key for us.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, you guys only had one player leave. It was unbelievable. And like you said, the new normal, and you guys were totally outside of that. So maybe we can't exactly call it the new normal for Eastern Washington. But you mentioned the type of players you like to recruit. What type of players does Eastern Washington look for?
Obviously they have to be good at basketball. That's the easy part. But we love people that want to compete and they'll catch our eye if they're really competitive, if, we'll watch them play in high school and play in club. And so many players are out there just trying to get theirs, just to get their points. And while those are sometimes the best players, and those aren't always the best teammates. And so we really try to recruit players that, want to compete. They want to win more than, just get their own. And so it's that balance of, they have to be good. So you notice them because they can play, obviously, but they also have to fit into our culture of, team first and playing for each other. And, you can find them. We do a nice job of getting out there and finding players and then just getting to know them off the court. So we spend a lot of time recruiting young players and, getting to know them and their families and seeing if they're the right fit, because I think that, sometimes people make the wrong choice of where they should go. And we want them to know everything about us and us to know what they're going to bring to the table on the court, but also off the court. We want to, bring in quality people that really fit, with our current roster.
Yeah. And for Eastern Washington women's basketball, it looks different every year, and something with college sports in general is just the amount of turnover where you see a lot of new faces, and you guys are blessed with a lot of young players. So not all of it is through the transfer portal, but how does that play into it where the whole game of college sports is very different, where you have to hit the ground running right away?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the new normal. It probably is, where you have, 7 or 8 new players every year. And that's what we've had the last couple of years. And it just makes for, a lot of learning. And we have so many practices though. We practice all summer and, fall. So I think there's enough time, but it just takes that time to be able to, learn the system, learn to play with each other, get the reps in, and then gaining the experience. It only happens with experience. And we love to recruit high school kids and bring in, freshmen and build those players. And, you can see the fruits of the labor with our sophomores this year who a lot of them started or got a lot of minutes last year as freshmen. And it's like they're playing more like juniors than sophomores. So it just takes time, I think. But I think it's kind of the nature of the beast right now. You're going to get transfers and you're going to have freshmen. And it's just the way it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably is the new normal. And what is going to be the key down the stretch for Eastern Washington women's basketball to be the best team that they can be in the Big Sky this upcoming season?
Big Sky is tough. We know that going in every single year. But it's also balanced from top to bottom. I think that we could beat anyone in the conference, but we could lose to anyone in the conference as well. It's a really tough women's basketball conference. It's fun to play in. It's fun to travel to. There's great college towns and, all over the western part of the states that we get to visit and, play in some places that are super passionate about their team. And so, we love that about our conference. You're not going to empty gyms all the time. It's they're college towns that love their teams. So I think that's something that I really love about the Big Sky. And then, like I said, it's just super competitive, like top to bottom. It's tough. And we have to make sure that we, bring it every single day. We have to compete. We need to, make sure that we're defending with urgency and that we just continuously get better. I think that, the teams that win are ones that are most consistent night in and night out and just are trying to win every possession. You can't look at the big picture. You have to look at every possession individually and try to, string together the most wins with each possessions, and that'll ultimately help you win that game. So I think that, it's not easy. It's something that we've fortunately been through and had to, know what it takes. And it takes, that toughness and that mental capacity to really have that strive for excellence in every possession, and not have letdowns.
So again, we're catching up with Joddie Gleason, head coach for Eastern Washington women's basketball. The Eagles start Big Sky play this Saturday against Idaho. And when we come back on the Sports Council, we'll talk about the players, a good mix for Eagles basketball. You're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports.
It's time to save big during the Red Tag event at McCurley Chevrolet, where incredible deals make driving your next vehicle easier than ever. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% and explore a wide selection of new and used vehicles. From trucks to SUVs, we've got the vehicle to fit your life and your budget. Don't wait. Your next ride is closer than you think. McCurley Chevrolet, your way home.
If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com.
Living in a rental shouldn't mean settling for poor-tasting tap water. With Soft Water Specialists, you can have pure, clean drinking water in your home, easily and affordably. Our countertop filtration system removes impurities, improves taste, and fits perfectly in any rental space. Plus, it can produce hot or cold water. No big installations, no hassle, just fresh, crisp water. Stay healthy, stay hydrated, and love your water again. Soft Water Specialists. See why we have a 5-star rating on more than 600 Google reviews. Visit softwaterspecialist.com and love your water where you live.
Bring in the new year with Krispy Kreme and our winter seasonal donut collection. Perfect for cozy movie nights and making sweet memories. Stop in January 6th through April 6th, and while you're here, grab a dozen hot, fresh, original glazed donuts for just $9.99. What a deal! Add a caramel brown sugar latte and enjoy your day. New year, new season. Ask about Krispy Kreme fundraisers for your school, church, team, or nonprofit. Visit Krispy Kreme, 2805 DuPortale in Richland. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile.
You're listening to Jamie Council on the Sports Council.
We're back on the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports, catching up with Joddie Gleason of Eastern Washington women's basketball, starting conference play this Saturday. And we were talking about the Big Sky right before the break. Montana State pegged as the team to beat, but it's so close. Anybody can beat anybody on any given night. And you guys are starting with Idaho. What do you think of this matchup? A tough one to get things rolling in 2026 in a brand new Big Sky season.
We know Idaho's really tough. They received some, first place votes in our preseason ballots for a reason. I think they're in the top 2 or 3. I think they were at third in the standings, and they have a ton of transfers that really, came in and have meshed really well. They have some injuries right now. We're not sure exactly who will show up on Saturday, but we know that they're going to be really tough. They're led by Hope Hassman, who's been there a few years, and they brought in Kyra Gardner from Washington State, who are both just prolific scorers. They can shoot it. They can get to the basket. They draw fouls. They do a really nice job, but they also are balanced. They have some really nice post players that, you have to focus on as well. So, Idaho loves to get up and down and score. They're in the 80s, I think, in scoring. So we know we have to try to slow that down and get them to, take tough shots and not give them anything easy.
Yeah, it's a bit different having a 6'5" post player, and then Gardner. It was against a Division II opponent, but had a triple double. I was at the game in Moscow, so it's going to be a very fun matchup because Eastern Washington has quite a few weapons in your toolbox too. And we'll start with Courtney Grossman. Was Freshman of the Year last year and is the Big Sky Player of the Week. Has 3 straight double-doubles for Eagles basketball.
Yeah, Courtney's just a joy to coach, too. She is somebody that is hungry. She comes and works every single day in practice. Obviously, in the weight room, you can see how strong she is out there as well, where we actually have to try to get her off the court and out of the weight room to recover because she wants to work all the time. And so, those kind of players you love to coach. And then she's just a positive, bubbly person who just brings joy to every single day. So we're just super grateful that she's an Eag and that we get to coach her. And then on the court, she's a beast, so she's one of those players that is the nicest human. And then she's going to go in there and snatch every rebound and defend with urgency and play really tough for us. So, we're, like I said, we're super grateful that she's here. We love that she's really working on expanding her game and she can shoot from the 3 and score at the basket and kind of has that ability to go off the bounce. So she's really trying to work on her skill set as well and be more versatile offensively for us.
Yeah, and this Saturday, she's going to have a big game where she leads the Big Sky in rebounding, 3rd in NCAA, averaging over 12 rebounds a game. So she's going to be an important part this Saturday. And let's stay with the sophomore, where you had some good freshmen come in last year and a very young team overall. So JC Eggers is right there where I feel like she's a little bit overshadowed by Courtney, but it kind of bodes well in her favor because she's just the quiet sniper where she is so quiet, even though she'll score double digit in games.
Yeah, if you would have asked before the season last year, I would have said JC was going to get Freshman of the Year in the Big Sky because of her just accolades in high school and how good she is and the type of player that she is. And I think both of them had extraordinary freshman years. You just have to, they both can't get it. I do think that she's a tough matchup for different posts. If she plays against, more size, she can stretch the court and pop out and shoot it or go off the bounce. If she has a smaller post, then she can really, score inside and she's crafty. She can score against, bigger players on the interior as well. So, she's a hard worker and wants to continuously improve and is always trying to, figure out ways to help us win and help us get better. So she's just a joy to coach as well. Just like works extremely hard, wants to get better, and is a high IQ kid who wants to learn about our scouts, wants to see what our plan is, and tries to execute that plan as best she can.
And we keep on saying a young team, of course, just talked about two returners, sophomores for you guys, scoring in double digits. But you also have Elin Bowers, a freshman, averaging over 13 points a game for you. That's great to have that Eastern Washington seems to find these college-ready players that come in and can contribute right out of the gate. And Elin, she's such a competitor, so fun to watch.
Yeah, we knew that we graduated. I think it was 5 combo guards in our class last year, 4 or 5, and so we knew there was a ton of minutes to be had, and that Elin would contribute to those minutes. And then she's worked herself into that starting point guard spot, which is not an easy task as a freshman. You have to be the quarterback of the team. You got to get the troops organized and use your voice. And I think that's probably one of the toughest things for anybody, but he does a good job. Ella Gallatin is that voice for us on the court. She'll call plays and she'll help E out, but Elin has to be the one out there doing it as the PG, and she's embraced that. She's what she's done her whole life. She's a baller. She knows how to play. Another one, she and JC and Katie all are coaches' kids. They, grew up in basketball houses and have very high basketball IQ. And so Elin's been able to learn our system really quickly, but then also just learn to play at the college level. It's, we kind of throw it to the wolves going to, Arizona State, Gonzaga, Portland, we were down up Washington State, up and down the list. We play a really tough preseason, but, she's really excelled and just understands the game and knows when it's the right time to score and when it's the right time to set something up and get us into our action. So she could actually take over and get more shots probably. And I think that she's just kind of trying to make sure that she does the right thing all the time, but I need to let her loose a little more to try to score a little more, I think.
So she's a good player to have, has really taken over that role, but it's hard to find success for young players without those voices, where you in segment 1 talked about how important the culture is, of having those people that know the culture, can teach that culture. And you mentioned it, Ella Gallatin is that person for you, that leader that can help bring it all together. So talk about what Gallatin brings to this roster.
It's just huge. It's hard to even put into words. I mean, coaches know how important culture is and leaders are, but Ella's been here 4 years and didn't play a ton her freshman and sophomore years. She was in the rotation. She got in her freshman year a little more than her sophomore year because of some injuries. But she just understands the game and is completely bought in, is a great Eve for life. And so this year it's finally her time. Her junior and senior year, she's started and averaging a ton of minutes every game. We try to get her breaks, but we can't get her off the court or keep her off the court. But she just brings that positive leadership, and she's one of the hardest workers. Every single rep, you won't see one rep in practice that she's not going 100%, that she's not going game speed. And so it just really teaches all the new players what we expect. And this is how we do things. There aren't drills that you can take off. There's not a rep that you can take off. If you want to be great, then you need to make sure that you do all the little things well. And so that's what, Ella brings. She's not super vocal, but when she talks, people listen, and we're just trying to get her to even, use her voice a little more. But and so it's Ella, and then Bella Hayes as well as another one of our 4th year players that they just embrace the young players. They know what it means and how important it is to have those guys all on the same page, and that they feel welcome. We know that if people feel good, then they're more apt to, play well. So it's all about those two really embracing, especially our young players.
Yeah, so you have a good core, and then talking about Bella Hayes, she brings that size for you in the interior and Something I love about the way that you play is it's very player dependent, where the matchups, like you're not afraid to make those changes, which makes you guys very dangerous. And you have a lot of different players. So let's go through some of the other parts of the roster. You have some players coming back, like Emily McElmurray, that is getting more confident, or even some transfers in. You talked about Caitlin Janegraw, the transfer from Bakersfield that had maybe a little bit of a slow start, but is starting to feel herself now as an Eagle. So just talk about the other pieces on Eastern Washington women's basketball.
Yeah. So Katie is a transfer from Bakersfield. She's been starting at the 2 guard for us. She's from Canada, so it was a nice transfer, I guess. Her parents are only 5 or 6 hours away. They can come to a lot of games. But she also is really heady. She has a high IQ. She learns very quickly, and she's understands the game. And so whether she's, she might not be scoring every single night, but she, makes the right read, or gets everybody on the same page, or executes our action correctly. So she does a lot of those intangibles that might not be seen by the general eye. And then you mentioned Emily McElmurray. She is a sophomore as well. And like I said, we had a ton of combo guards last year. So she came in for us, every game, got some minutes, but didn't get a ton, but just is hungry and works extremely hard. And now she is a, key part of our roster, and is the first person in off the bench. But she's super athletic. She brings us that defensive mindset where we can put her on the opponent's best player. She can get stops there. She's a bigger guard that can rebound, and then she's super athletic. She's a track star in high school, and she can get out and run and jump and compete with the best of them in that regard. So we love her versatility. She can, like I said, she can get to the basket. She can shoot the 3. So we're really excited about her future as well. And we're just trying to make sure that she gets, that confidence and those reps when she needs it. Bella Hayes, we talked about a little bit. So she comes in as well off the bench for us in the post and gives us more size. If we play against somebody that, a team that has size, then we need to make sure that, she's in there for those reps, and then, can spot JC a little bit, so we can move JC to the 4 if we play against teams that are a little bit bigger. So that's a nice sub for us that comes in. And then Maddie Gibbs is another freshman who's really long and athletic, and is really kind of coming into her own right now, is playing well, is playing with confidence. And is just kind of learning how to play at the college level, but she has no fear. She's calm all the time. She has a nice balanced scoring attack, so she does a nice job for us. Who else? Paris Kirk is a senior for us who it was a transfer last year, and provides some athleticism in the interior. She plays the 5 typically, and is does a nice job of getting boards and coming up with big buckets. It seems like every time we need it.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to this Saturday starting conference play against Idaho, tip off at 2:00. Why should people watch Eastern Washington women's basketball?
Ooh, good question. I think it's fun to watch. I think we play a style of basketball that's fun to watch. Our players work really hard. We move the ball. We try to make the extra pass, and play quality basketball, and they're pretty good. So I think it's always fun to watch teams get up and down. Us and Idaho both want to get out and run, and I think it'll be a high scoring affair, which I think the fans like sometimes. So we're hoping we can slow them down a little bit, and I just think it'll be a great game on Saturday.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Joddie.
Thanks. Go Eags.
Again, Joddie Gleason, head coach of Eastern Washington women's basketball. And when we come back, we'll get to know a new face, but a name you know, Elin Bowers. When we come back, you're listening to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports.
If If you've got a winery, brewery, or dairy, why buy industrial parts and supplies from across the country? Central Industrial Sales is your local source for supplies and equipment for the dairy, food processing, winery, and brewing industries. We specialize in custom fabrication, industrial cleaning equipment, sanitary fittings, valves, pumps, chemicals, and many other supplies. Everything's available through our website, by phone, or by dropping by our office. Call 509-375-4032 or find us at centralindustrialsales.com.
It's time to save big during the Red Tag event at McCurley Chevrolet, where incredible deals make driving your next vehicle easier than ever. Right now, take advantage of financing as low as 0% and explore a wide selection of new and used vehicles. From trucks to SUVs, we've got the vehicle to fit your life and your budget. Don't wait. Your next ride is closer than you think. McCurley Chevrolet, your way home.
Bring in the new year with Krispy Kreme and our winter seasonal donut collection. Perfect for cozy movie nights and making sweet memories. Stop in January 6th through April 6th, and while you're here, grab a dozen hot, fresh, original glazed donuts for just $9.99. What a deal! Add a caramel brown sugar latte and enjoy your day. New year, new season. Ask about Krispy Kreme fundraisers for your school, church, team, or nonprofit. Visit Krispy Kreme, 2805 DuPortale in Richland. Come in with a sweet tooth, leave with a smile.
Softwater Specialist salutes the Water Boy. Your teammates may not always give you the respect you deserve for the service you provide, but we do. If they only knew the same great tasting water from Softwater Specialist makes their towels softer and uniforms brighter, they might see things a little different, just like you. Softwater Specialist salutes the Water Boy.
That's some high quality H2O right there.
You're listening to Jamie Council on the Sports Council.
Welcome back to the Sports Council on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. Well, we're talking Eastern Washington women's basketball, and now joined by freshman Elin Bowers. How's it going?
Great.
Well, you have started great for Eastern Washington women's basketball. How you've been settling into the college game?
I think I've settled in pretty good. We've had a lot of time to really settle in type of thing. Lots of great games to get used to the speed of the game. And, I credit a lot of the older girls being able to help me settle in and just grow more.
Yeah, and Eastern Washington is a relatively young team. You being a freshman, averaging over 13 points a game, and then three people that are averaging above that double-digit number are sophomores or less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How does that play into things where, you have people like Courtney Grossman, who took the Big Sky by storm last year, and just being able to come in with the attitude, it doesn't matter if I'm a freshman, I can still make a difference?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to see, we are a really young team. So that means we have lots of room to grow. There's a lot to come. And then, there still are those couple upperclassmen girls that really help the team. And I think that's just great for the program, great for the future. So
the locker room's pretty good. You have some younger talent, then you have people like Ella Gallatin who, have that those years underneath where can bring in the experience when you need it.
Yeah, for sure.
And what has been the biggest surprise or something that you've had to work on coming from high school to college?
I think the biggest thing I've had to work on is just being more physical. That's that was the biggest thing I noticed, even coming in for practice and everything. It's just a different game compared to high school. It's faster. Everyone's bigger, stronger. So that's definitely something I had to work on.
And what about coming into the team, finding your home there? I know with so many new players, figuring out those first couple games of where people are going to fit. You've found your spot. What was that process like for you of finding how you fit into the current roster for Eastern Washington women's basketball?
Yeah, I just played how I played, and I think we all bonded really well. We have pretty good chemistry. It didn't take very long for everyone to mesh. So that was, it's great. And then on the court, I think everyone just plays how they play and it works perfectly. We're just a great team with great chemistry and everything.
What's been your favorite memory so far? It's still fairly early in the season.
I'm not sure yet. I love all our traveling away trips. Those are always really fun. A lot different than what I'm used to from high school. So, yeah, everything's just a great experience so far.
Yeah, and a highlight is scoring over 21 points against Gonzaga. That was a pretty good moment.
Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite games so far. Yeah.
And now that you guys into Big Sky play, how has the tone changed within the program?
I think we're ready for conference. We're a great team. I think we're coming into conference good. We just had our tune-up game against Bushnell. We played really good together. It was a great win, and yeah, we're ready to get rolling in conference.
Yeah, you start conference this Saturday against Idaho. What's going to be the keys to the game this Saturday?
Well, Idaho's a big, physical, strong team. They can score from, all three levels. So we have to really come out ready and prepared. We can't overlook them, that's for sure. They're a really good team. And we just have to play our game. We can't get caught up. We just got to play our game.
It's going to be a fun matchup. So that's what you guys are looking for this Saturday when you start conference play against Idaho. What about for the season? What progressions does Eastern Washington women's basketball want to make sure that you guys are the best team come conference time?
We just need to play like a team. Don't try to go out there and be like who we aren't. Just stay physical, I think. Keep pushing the ball. And then in practice and everything, we just have to work on us. You can't worry about the outside factors. Just worry about us.
Yeah, stay the course.
Yep.
Well, the conference tournament is a long ways away. And what about for you personally? Do you have any goals for yourself?
For conference, I just like to keep doing what I'm doing. Keep the team moving. Just play how I play.
Well, you're averaging over 13 points, so that's a pretty good goal there. And what about New Year's resolutions? Are you a New Year's resolution person? Do you have any? What does that look like for Elin Bowers?
I'm not really a New Year's resolution person, but I don't know, maybe something will change this year. We'll see what happens.
There you go. And finally, why should people watch Eastern Washington women's basketball?
I think we play great basketball. We have lots of young talent, so I think that'll help throughout the years. I think we're going to be a really good team to come. And yeah, we just play great basketball. We can score from all three levels. We got great shooters, great posts inside, got great defense, everything about us.
Again, we're joined by Elin Bowers, a freshman for Eastern Washington women's basketball, as the Eagles start conference play this Saturday, January 3rd against Idaho. Tip-off at 2 o'clock at Reese Court, as well as on ESPN+. Elin, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, that wrap up this week's show of the Sports Council. Thank you for joining me on 1340 ESPN, your Tri-Cities leader in sports. A reminder, the Sports Council happens 4 times a month, 11:30 a.m. on Thursdays. But you can listen to the show not just over the airwaves at 11:30 on Thursdays, but also on demand at 1340ESPNradio.com via podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search for the Sports Council. And it's also available via YouTube. So lots of ways to listen to the Sports Council and support our local sports community. Until next time, I'm Jamie Council. Now we go back to your originally scheduled Seattle sports programming.